just calling to say I calling to say I
Heaven just knows what it was. Will I go back to the place where I belong? Everyone could break my heart, but I try my best to not fall apart. And I find it hard to let go. The memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, to the ones who never say never. You'll be my pleasure. I got nothing to be scared of, because where people live, there is always love. I know the answers in my heart, so I'll try my best to not fall apart. And I find it hard to let go. The memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, to the ones who Find it hard to let go. Memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, to the ones who never say never. Will you be my pleasure?
calling to say I say I'm just calling to say I say
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. As you might have noticed, the stream went live a little later, and now as to what happened, the cars were stuck in the pits with me, and the practice timer didn't reset, so for me everybody was still in practice and not driving, but turns out they actually were underway already. So we have missed some drivers getting out there at least. Everybody now making their way through the field as we are going to get underway for a 25-minute, well, it was a 30-minute session, but now it's a 25-minute session of qualifying over at the Nürburgring Nordschleife here. We are aboard with Tom Brunel, known as the rFactor 2 man. He is now taking it upon himself to drive this beautiful Lexus around, sponsored by Michelin. As you can see as well, quite a big logo there up the top as well. So many drivers are getting out there and getting involved. I've been moving over to the rookie stream this time around as well, which is definitely a lot of fun. Now let me know if you guys are watching. I always love interacting with you guys. It's always great to see you here, as we are currently watching all the drivers get out there as soon as possible here. Now, I've been notified that there have been some unique cars on the grid. First of all, we've got a Bentley, which is something that you don't see every day anymore. Feels really good to have on it. Driven by Bjorn Weiser. He's currently making his way onto the beautiful Nürburgring Nordschleife. What else have we got there? Have we got anything interesting? Doesn't appear that we have, actually. I mean, we've got a Lexus, not something you see every day either, but other than that, basically just your standard field here. As you can see, the Nürburgring, obviously a very narrow and difficult to overtake on track, and very, very technical. There's no room for mistakes, because if you go off, you're basically guaranteed to go into the barrier here. So the most of the overtakes are going to happen somewhere over on the Nürburgring GP track, of course. Now, it's up to us to try and take care of all the times of the drivers coming in, but it is quite difficult that there's so many drivers going on at the same time. So I'll try my best to ensure everybody gets as much action as possible here. So many drivers are out on the track. It's actually getting a little tight. Obviously, on the GP track, you don't have to drive along the entire Nordschleife to start your lap. You can actually cut across and use the GP track variant for the first lap. So you can get the qualifying immediately, gives you a bit more time. As the lap times are generally speaking somewhere around the 8 minute and 5 second mark from my experience. But yeah, this is the rookies, so it's just a matter of time figuring out how the rookies are gonna do. This is Ipafiaska. He's also getting out there right now. Onto the Nordschleife he goes now. Left to do a lap of 25 plus kilometers. Because this is obviously absolutely massive here. Obviously we had the Nürburgring 24 hours happen. As you can see, some drivers are already quite far up there. For example, Mike Allard got off really quickly and actually finding himself way further ahead than anybody else. Making his way through the small carousel, the Kleines carousel. There's two of them. That's the biggest one. That's the car number 3 has come to a stop and now it's the reset all the way. Yeah, it's Romano's line now all the way back there. Nothing that he can do apart from try again. Nürburgring is a very unforgiving track and it's already showing pretty much here. This is Torsten Matthaus making his way through the big carousel. The first of two, whereas driver 861. Mike Allard currently out there on this long straight here. Sponsored by Bill Stein. Up in the air as always. Mike Allard's going to try to put down his first flying lap here. Appears he's actually going really quick here. So makes me think something's up here. As I think my race control might have been bugged out or something along those lines. It's looking pretty weird, but maybe we'll see once time comes in. Because everybody's done the exact same lap time, which is really weird. What will it be for Mike Allard then? Using the line. Actually, doesn't set a time at all. Interesting. Eloy Poulon, then maybe. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Poulon? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Names will be tricky. What will he put on then? It's 8:13 here. The first lap time coming in as Torsten has actually not done a good job in his lap. He's made a mistake somewhere, has gone off and has invalidated his lap time. It's Polanco early with purple in all the sections, so now that makes sense as obviously a lot of the other drivers are, you know, yet to cross the line for the first time. This is Jamie Edwards. Let's see what his outlap is looking like. It is at least still valid, which is a good start, of course. But what will actually be car number 167? That is Emmanuelsen also resetting into the pits after a small mistake. As it will be Edwards to go second and Roquette to go third there. Now, I mentioned 805. That is obviously something for the more advanced drivers. So, yeah, safe to say there is some expectations on them, but maybe that is a little bit too far-fetched here, as it will be Spencer to come in 13 seconds off the pace, and Bartolucci, the Team SPX driver, to go 18 seconds off the pace there. In total, a 8:31 here, which is still, in my opinion, a pretty impressive time. Now, Torsten Matthaus made a mistake. His lap's been invalidated, so he's going to come in. It's not going to do him any favors, though. As now I can finally try again. Yeah, one small mistake. It can be so costly around here. This is also why racing on the Nürburgring so exciting. It's such an unforgiving track compared to all the other ones that we have. But very well done by him at least to get it across the line rather quickly. Billy Mercier. And Willy Mercier then going for his top time, and it's going to be a rather quick one as Sleutel comes right with him. Now Sleutel also putting in an impressive lap here at 8:22 already. So the lap times are rather quick here. Melvin Eklund, a seasoned FRL veteran, has somehow been placed in the rookie section, but actually surprised me a little bit because I remember him being rather quick actually. Going to cross the line for the first time. Hoping to be improving on that, but it's going to be P8 for now. Still nothing to be ashamed of, and still better than some of the drivers who might not even set in the lap in the entire session. You know how that goes. It's actually going to come to a halt here. Now it's just a matter of waiting to see all the drivers get out there again. You see, with these kind of tracks, it takes a lot of time for the drivers to get around, and therefore also less drivers driving close. This is Axel Roquette then. He's already put in a lap where he was 5th fastest. Only 10 seconds of the pace on this very long track. And now that's definitely a good start, I gotta admit. Now, let's make his way on the downhill here. This is basically just straight. As long as you're on the correct line. It's kind of hard to go side by side through there, but if you do it this way, do very well. Now getting into the slower, awkward section in just a moment. This is one of the slowest parts of the Nürburgring Nordschleife here, where this turn kind of have to get it right, and it looks like they will have to do so. Now, an interesting part about this as well, as we see driver 747 come off in the background as well. That was Bergio. Yeah, the interesting part to me about this circuit as well is that so many drivers, so many people have actually graffitied on the track, and that makes it really interesting. It makes it really unique. You don't really get to see that a lot on other tracks here. There's 15 minutes left of qualifying, as Ipe Fiasca is going to go 7th fastest overall. So it's now waiting for James Oldsley to get around. Going to cross the line in just a moment here. As you can see, one of the Ferraris joining him. Oldsley goes 8th fastest. Not bad at all here. Still plenty to gain as well. Eklund's reset into the pitch here. Sponsor's Trump is now out there on track as well here. Number 92 has gone off the GP part of the circuit. That's Oldsley. So he's parked the car, and he's now going to soon be trying again. Obviously, when you take a little bit of extra fuel, there's no real reason to start driving, right, in a qualifying session. So what he's done is he's come in again. Now what he's going to do is drive another lap of that GP circuit then and give it another go here. Greg Hill making it through the small carousel here as well. It's looking quite rapid out there, now on the throttle for a very, very long time. Now this is usually where, if you were to have a multi-class grid with GT2s, that's where you'll see them being very competitive. Michel van der Wal also out there on track right now. He's rather close to start-finish. And here he goes. Crossing the line in just a moment here. What will the time be? There he goes. Actually, comes to a stop right before the finish. Doesn't set in the lap time at all. That's interesting here. We've got a lot of drivers invalidating the lap as we speak as well. This is one of them, Matt Chip. It's basically running for nothing, but yeah. Kind of race then. He's one of the few drivers that actually doesn't have an invalid lap right now. As we're waiting to see what damage he can do here on the downhill. Absolutely sending it through. Now you have to brake. One more right-hander and one more left-hander, and then you're there. There he goes. Makes it through rather nicely. As Kenneth is now soon gonna come over the line to go second fastest. An impressive lap coming out from him. Belgian driver pushes up to provisional P2. With Di Donato, we spoke about him a little bit earlier. He is now going to be crossing the line. Or is he? Yes, he is. But turns out he's invalidated his lap, so it's not going to count. Meaning it's better off resetting here. Number 592. I don't know who that is, but he's come to a stop as well. It is late onto the track, and he just reset. Who was that then? That was actually the current leader, Poulogne. Coming in. Made a mistake. Had invalidated his lap, and at that point there is no point in still running. He's right into the pits. Daniel Trambaglio is the next upcoming driver to cross the line rather soon. Making it over the start finish as we speak. Now his time has been invalidated in the meanwhile as well, so I'm afraid we're not going to be seeing any improvements for him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see quite a lot of drivers not getting times out there, as there's currently 11 drivers that have set a time in the session. And we have 41 on the grid out here tonight. So obviously we do have a lot of drivers on his way, so we will get some extra times coming in soon. Starting off with Axel Roquette. Currently the leader in this small group for now is P6 already. Wants to try and solidify what he's performed before. It's one of the few drivers that is on a valid lap still. There he goes. Basically jumps across that last curb. Does it even matter? I'm not sure. There he goes to cross the line. P4, it is not bad at all here. I've got plenty of cars approaching soon. Starting off with this man. Nordschleife. Lots of French drivers in the server here. And what will it be for now? It's hard to say. Crossing the line on P33. Setting his first lap, or is he? No, it's actually only just now started one. That's a shame. Multiple drivers here as well towards the back, having invalidated their laps according to base control. Although I have my doubts it's completely accurate right now. So, a little bit of improvising for now. There he goes. William Glover also having invalidated his lap time. He's not going to set a new one, is he? Nope. Turns out he's not. That's a shame. Torsten Matthäus then. A second try. Made a mistake in the first lap. But is now looking a lot more solid here. Driver number 61's come to a stop in the background as well. Resetting all the way. That was Tom Bernil actually. Shame to see it happen like that, man. That's just what it is. And here he goes across the line. Torsten Matthäus. In P10 for the time being. Alex Nito is approaching now as well. Makes his way across. Last couple corners. 8 fastest for Alex Nito here. A great improvement if I say so myself, as Giuseppe Sampier is next up as well. We've got so many drivers involved at the moment. And Giuseppe will be the first one to cross the line between them. Setting his first valid lap as we go. Goes 16 fastest, a little bit off the pace here. That's still not too bad. Took plenty of time to try and make some things up here as RGG moves up back to the pits as I was supposed to spectate him just about. So many drivers still on their initial lap here, which is now getting a little bit scary because now there's only a couple opportunities to still try and go with it. Time is going to run out eventually. The number 303 approaching together with 317. Who are they? It's Gorgetto. As well as Gregorelli. Gregorelli will be the first one. And he will be setting his lap time, which according to the game is invalidated. I'm not so sure if that actually is the case. No, it's actually not. He has put in a valid lap time. About Lorenzo Gorgetto then. Also on his out lap, it's going to be 17 falses here. So the grid is shaping up. Excuse me. The shit is shaping up. Whoops. Yeah. That's a good sign here. Number 72 has come to a stop. Who's that then? It's Taron Schiebel resetting into the pits. He was kind of committed out there. Now the problem is he can only get one more shot at this. If he goes through the GP part of the circuit, he is able to get one more in. Drivers are coming in. Once again, we're seeing some major incidents happen over on the Nordschleife part of the track here. Also known as the North Loop officially, if you translate it from German. Here's after a reset into the pits, he's good to go again. Now, at this point, if you haven't set a lap time yet, you are with your backs against the wall here. One mistake, one invalidated lap could be your last one, depending on when it actually happens. Obviously, you are lucky to have that chance to go through the GP part of the sector as the flags are out. Wait. Boulogne, luckily to get away from the driver that actually spun out. I'm unsure who that actually was. I believe it might have been Matthew Reynolds. Although I doubt it, as he's still improving on this lap time. A bit later on, Corey has a Delta going of a 2-second improvement, so not bad at all. Same goes for Zampieri. He's improving rapidly. He's already gained 3 seconds in this short of a time. So the drivers are getting a little bit more comfortable here. They're getting out of their comfort zone. They are finally able to put in some faster laps as well, but they're willing to take those risks. And time will tell to see if that pays off. As now, set car 373. Trambaglio has come to a stop and has reset into the pits as well. It's Jim Manuelson we're aboard with. The Norwegian doing his damn best to get out there. And he's going to set in just about another lap. What will the time be for Jim Emanuelson? He's going to cross the line. We're about to find out. Goes 14 fastest. So close, but Matthäus does get pushed down the position in the end there. Just shows how tight the times actually are, even on a track like this. We just saw Bertolucci go a slight bit wide here as one of the Porsches has gone off in the background as well. That was the Porsche of Sleutel, the 992 numbered car. Lex Nito looking to improve on the lap that he set a little bit earlier on the session. So is Luca Bertolucci. He'll be the next one coming in to the Kleiners Carousel, where he is currently basically dead on the time that he has already set. So yeah, not bad at all. Here they go. Number 79 has come to a stop here over on the track. That's not a very good sign, but who actually is that? It's kind of hard to keep track of all of them. That's actually Getman. Alright, so Getman actually didn't have a set lap yet, so yeah. Bertolucci goes 17 fastest here. A slight improvement. That doesn't really get him too far. Some of the drivers that are now committed to the track won't be able to get another chance in already. Here we see a couple hastily resets hoping to make it through. If you're committed now, if you make a mistake and let's say a minute, you're basically done for here. As the current pole sitter is once again looking to improve. This time though, he's invalidated his lap. So Leperline will not be improving on his lap this time round here. He's actually going to line it up, I think, for a new opportunity into the next lap. Makes me wonder if he's brought enough fuel to actually go for something like this, but looks like he will try. I think he's got no choice, basically. That lap time wasn't it here. James Aldsley has also invalidated the lap according to race control, that is. As you can see as well, the server is kind of lagging, or well, maybe I am actually lagging a little. I'm completely uncertain as to why that could be. I hope it's not impacting the viewing experience too much here. Aldsley finishes up the lap, which makes me think that the yeah. Emmerich the Chivra approaching as we speak. Going to get out there for the last couple laps here. So there's only 1 minute remaining, and then it's just a matter of every driver coming in, show what they're made of. Chivra does quite well getting off there. Tom Sleutel in a desperate attempt to start his very last lap here. Justin Sleutel starting now, the Gazelle Motorsport driver. We have obviously seen a couple of them before. Bernil then, in a desperate attempt. I mean, there's a couple drivers still ahead of him, actually. One of them being Spencer. Ross Spencer out there. We haven't actually showed too many of them before during qualifying, but he has set a decent lap in, with that being P12 for the time being, and he'll finish ahead of Tom Bernil. But what will the time be in his last attempt? It will be P10, as Tom Bernil is just making his way over just now. Hoping to cross the line with a good position. It's going to be P24 for Tom Bernil. Mickey Taylor's now the next one coming up. There's only a couple drivers remaining. Actually got to send out some time, but the maximum wait time has been set to only a couple minutes here, rather than enough to do an entire full lap here. So you have to take that into consideration as well. There goes Mickey Taylor then. To cross the line in P35, not setting a valid lap, unfortunately. Yes, it's now waiting for Craig Hill to make his way all the way over. That's going to take a while, though. Craig Hill representing Backmarker Motorsport. He's making his way out. All the way. Making his way now into the final couple corners here. It's right hand and then left hander, and then it's just a matter of getting to the finish as soon as possible. That max wait time set it out there as the corner background's gone off. That is Barracuda not finishing up his lap, unfortunately, here. And Craig Hill goes 5th fastest towards the end of the session. Now that is a clutch if I've ever seen one. But now, how far do the last 2 remaining drivers actually come? Darren Schiebel needs to get a lap in here, but he's actually racing against the clock here. There he goes, Darren Schiebel. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it here. Last corner coming up here. There's 8 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does he make it? Not quite. Shame there. Darren Schiebel unable to put in the lap time he wanted to. And that will be the end of that, I'm afraid. Oh man, does that hurt. Now, getting ready. Yeah, Schiebel's frustrated with it. Luckily, logically as well. As we are gonna get ready here. So, go. Just a moment here. We'll be right back when the race is about to start.
Just calling to say I
It appears we are once again ready to start here. Plenty of drivers on the grid this time round, as we're going to do a small warm-up. Well, I wanted to say warm-up lap, but that's not the case, is it? We're starting a little bit further down the field here, as it would be very, very long if we could get the racing otherwise. Getting the tires warm would be so difficult. You can see everybody's making it in. Obviously, everybody just getting instructed right now to get into their own license, such as it's only a small way until we get going. You can just see how long that conga line is. So we are getting ready. Now you can just see how long that line is. I wouldn't even be surprised if some drivers are able to make it around the corner. Okay, now everybody does. Just as we are underway. The lights have turned green and we are underway for 1 hour and 30 minutes here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We are getting into turn 1. As it appears there's already one driver going off into the background here. The rest making it through rather nicely here. So there's been one driver with a major incident and there they go off towards the back here. Gorgetto sees the driver ahead of him going off here. There's one of the BMWs going very, very wide here. But other than that, it seems to be a relatively okay start as far as starts actually go in sim racing here. We've seen a couple drivers fall back all the way here. It appears it's nothing major for now. So everybody's able to make it through. Taylor coming through, and there's actually a Ferrari going sideways. That might have been the car. It's number 182. Who actually is that? And it's hard to say as another Ferrari collides there. It's one of the carbon black Ferraris. I'm actually not sure. Was it Matt Chip or was it the other driver who pushed the other off? It's kind of hard to say in these hectic situations like the ones we are in right now, as the leading drivers are currently making their way onto the Nordschleife for the first time. So drivers are going, well, wide. At least one of them was in the background. Appears that the order really hasn't changed that much since, though, however. And here they are pushing through. It appears that the drivers have no issue getting onto here. Obviously, this is a track everybody knows by now, right? It is the track that everybody loves. It's a fan favorite. I believe everybody at the moment will be able to kind of drive it blindly. The lap times have proven that as well. Appears that Tristan Sleutel's made up quite a bit of time here. He's done a great job to keep the field tight as always. Now, going into the slower part of the circuit is usually where you see the kind of big conga lines forming all the way. But to me, it's a fair surprise that so many drivers here that have actually gained their lost position are all still on the track. I mean, that's very hard to do here. Appears that Emmerich, the Achiever, has made his way around here, but the other 296 of Chip is now making his way back here. This is a aggressive move, and the Achiever unfortunately does find himself into the wall there. It's not too great to have that happen, but you know, if you look at it on the bright side, it's not too bad here, as it will be Chris Fatman going off, because you can have permanent damage and just be stuck with it the entire race. And that is the main concern for some of the drivers here. Plus, another issue that you have on this track is that, you know, not only you can pick up damage, it's also like there's just very little space to let other drivers get around you, which could be very hindering to the other drivers involved as well. We see that's never the case. But yeah, that's how it is sometimes, I suppose. You're at the front really hasn't changed that much here. It's currently Pouletin in the first position. According according to my program, is actually second, but there is nobody ahead of him. There appears to be a mistake somewhere around. I think that fixes itself around the first lap. Once everybody's done that one, I think that will fix itself. I am not entirely sure at the moment, but the rules are basically as follow. Van der Wal has gone slow, and as a result there's some drivers in the back here that have hit the wall rather hard here. Kieran Leeson's being one of them. The Aston Martin of, I believe that was Eklund's, also been involved in that incident, and well, you can see that Kieran Leeson was letting all the other drivers pass now before he can safely rejoin it. It's always kind of hard to see as well, visibility wise. Obviously that doesn't help either, right? But this is Melvin Eklund. He was indeed the driver involved. It looks like he's recovered rather well. Can't say the same about the drivers behind him. Scott Moody is also driving slowly, and I believe so are the drivers behind him as well. So there has been some form of incident towards the back there as well. Lorenzo Grighetto finding himself on the back here of the BMW of, I believe, Zampieri. As Matt Shipp gains one position here onto Tom Burnell. Tom Burnell tried fighting it off for a little while, but has decided this is now the safe way. And he's fallen back a handful of positions compared to his starting position, but is still very much in the lead for points. You can just see how far the drivers are on the limit here. As all the drivers here, especially in the midfield, are still driving a very competitive drive. As once again, it is Kieran Leeson to come off. Even more damage he's picked up. It's now gone from P21 to P40 all the way. And it looks like his car's damaged badly as well. Same about Isha van der Wal. Now luckily we are already at the small carousel, and even though he's going to lose out on a couple positions here, actually he's lost 3 there as we speak. And his car isn't that healthy anymore. He should be able to make it into the pits just fine, so that he can serve the mandatory pit stop if he wants to. I don't believe there is a pit window here, so drivers are free to come in whenever they want, which I think is only for the better. Matthew Reynolds is making his way behind the BMW here, getting ready to cross the line for the ever first time. And yeah, it's either Poloin was loading by. It was such a big difference here as Kieran Leeson's driving so slowly. Makes me think he's got suspension damage or something along those lines. It's taking him really long to get around, and the same is for Rocco Di Donato as well. And that is most likely the biggest reasons these drivers are being so slow right now. It's got nothing to do with the fact that they don't have the pace, but with the current damage that they've picked up, it's kind of hard to set a quick and competitive lap time. So the worst thing you want to do, like the worst thing that could happen there, is to, you know, pick up even more damage to make it even harder on yourself. What happened with 3v3 before? He's crashed out, spun, set it into the wall, and that was that. Tristan Sleutel here, driving on the GP part of the track as we speak. Soon to get onto the Nordschleife here, as he's getting ready to make his way through the chicane here. Well, actually, that wasn't a chicane at all here. It's almost there, ready to continue on the legendary Nordschleife track here. back for the championship. I actually haven't looked what the championship standings are like. Gotta admit that I was asked to do the rookie split, whereas I'm normally on the other semi-pro split. So I was kind of delayed a little bit here as there's the big slide are coming in, but I think they've just about managed to save it, or have they? Yep, they have. That could have gone really, really wrong as well. There's been one car reset into the pits. I'm pretty sure I saw that happen right in front of me. I'm not entirely sure. So many drivers have come in. It's Mickey Taylor, Van der Waal, Bartolucci as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Getman and Leeson are joining in later as well. Rocket Di Donato obviously being one of those as well. So they're going to come in, pair their car as Gorgetto goes for a move down the inside here into the chicane. Nicely done. Makes his way through. Gains yet another. I mean, I say that because he's moved up a couple positions already. But speaking about moving up position, this man, John Bagley, the driver currently boarded, has gained 15 positions. Same for Darwin Schiebel. We saw him struggle to get the lap times in the early part of the session, and he was so close to finally getting in a lap, and then the session was over, and the max wait time didn't do him any favors, which is a shame. Oof, and that's a big shunt into the wall as well. Was that? Yeah, no, it wasn't Tronchibo. Who was it? Oh no, it's Daniel Trombaglio who's just had it sent into the wall. And look at the damage he's got on his McLaren there. Yeah, that is a done deal, I want to say. He's going to be losing out on so many positions, trying to stay alive on the track there. As Giorgio Burgio's also spun it. So many drivers have to get around. It's a little bit awkward now. Have to just stand there and wait. Luckily he's able to reset the car just now. Avoided any head-on collisions. At least Mark GG going up the inside here of the Ferrari. Unfortunately though, that's caused him to go off the track here. Luckily no damage, so he's able to continue his drive safely. Ron Schiebel has made his way up to the back of Barracuda. Manuelsen is the one driving ahead of him as well. These three, I think this is a battle that could go all the way, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. Van Eklund close to Gorgetto. Gorgetto's had a good run through so far as Alex Nito has found the wall here. Has now come to a stop. I think he's contemplating about leaving the server. And there's the reset into the pits there. Means he's going to be gone for the rest of the race here. Or he's resetting from the pits to try again. But even then it will cost him so much time. I think it's barely manageable around a track like the Nordschleife. Max Nito indeed. Well, he's now officially the race leader, as he's the first driver to get those laps in, but obviously that's not the case. It's a little bit confusing from time to time. Let's see who's battling then. Obviously the field over time is kind of spread out a little bit here. You can see that some of the drivers are only just starting on the Nordschleife just now. Evans and William Glover close by as well. This is a great battle we're watching here. These three, wouldn't be surprised if they're going to take a little bit of extra timer to go all the distance, as I believe that is the Ferrari Evans coming through there. That is the car of Jay Evans now, as Glover and the Sheaver kind of left behind here. It appears that BMW of Glover has just overtaken Chip as well, so it's a battle going all the way here. I don't know what's happened to Chip there. He's losing quite a bit of time now immediately afterwards. Chip might have made a mistake somewhere. It's kind of hard to see from what actually... Torsten Matthäus coming right in here. He is close to Tom Bernil and Zampieri's in that mix as well. I always love seeing the Lexus out there. Now, I believe, I could be mistaken, but I believe that the Lexus actually has quite an alright top speed here. So he should be able to catch up to the BMW, no problem. And actually, he might be able to go for a move here with just so much extra speed. Now, obviously, the BMW has the advantage that the Lexus just had. But even then, you know, that Slipstream isn't doing much. It seems that Tom Bernil's just driving away at a rapid pace right now. I don't know what's in that thing, but it seems to be doing its job just very, very well. Other drivers coming into the pits though. It's Alex Nito, Spencer, Viascas in there as well. During the pit stop early to get it done with, or perhaps to savor damage. Ooh, that was real close, but that's actually Ferrari behind Gregorelli to get into the wall there. That must have been, was it De Sheaver then? Yes, it was Emmerich De Sheaver who got involved into a massive incident when it actually looked like a unforced error, if anything. So he's not going to be set back even more. As you know, the current grid is really, really far apart here. There's a warning because there's a slow driver on the track, and that is Giorgio Bergio, this time with damage around. And he actually can't really get the car to turn his way. So that is massive suspension damage that he's sustained over time. And the only thing he can do is drive back at a snail's pace. The drivers at the front are mainly just doing well at the moment, and despite the two slower cars that are at the back, I believe that's also Chris Getman involved. Yes, that is the case. Mark GG here, driving into the pit as well. Just look at how sideways that wheel is here. You can see it on the right here. Yeah, Marcus somehow still driving that thing around, and I've got no clue as to how he's done that. Kieran Leeds once again struggling. I think Kieran might be a little bit less experienced than some of the other drivers here. Now, it is obviously a very unforgiving track, as I mentioned before. Sheaver's in the pits, so is Spencer. Manship has followed as well. Mark GG, as well as Matthew Reynolds, just stood in there. Had to quickly cheat to see what his first name is. But it is not bad at all. Gotta admit it, things are looking well. The drivers ahead here. I'm watching. I mean, this is Zampieri chasing. Once again, just getting as close as possible to Tom Bernil. Actually, the McLaren that you're seeing ahead here is also a driver involved in that battle. That is Matthäus, who was actually originally behind Zampieri. He has found his way through here, most likely on the GP part of the track there, where there's plenty of chance to overtake. But yeah, he's found himself now actually in the lead here over Giuseppe Zampieri. So the BMWs, they are doing quite alright. Now it's time to get up there. White flag is out there. This group had to get separated here, as that is Eklund. They're struggling as well, and he's going to be losing out on a couple positions here, and is now driving slowly. I hope the car isn't damaged too much, but yeah, it appears that the hood at the front there has taken a massive hit here, and I think that wheel is also looking pretty unstable. Yeah, he's struggling to get the car around. I mean, he can only really just keep passing that, but you can see how sideways that is, and he's trying his best to guide it around, but it's not going to happen. Giuseppe Zampieri is still close by. He's chasing Mataush. Driver ahead actually is the one laughing the hardest here, because Tom Brunel is just escaping rather quickly actually, as once again the yellow flags are out, but that is still for Eklund over on this side of the track here. I can already just make his way through as well. Matt Chip has picked up a stop and go 30, a massive penalty to get here as well. It's going to cost him quite a bit of time. He can't do anything either way. So yeah, that is not too great. At the front, nothing's really changed here. I mean, like, Poulen's just doing his own thing, driving as fast as possible to ensure that he doesn't get into traffic. I mean, at the moment, he's got a 7.5 second gap here to the second driver, which is actually Bjorn Weiser in the Bentley nevertheless. So, he is doing really, really, really well. Weiser now making his way past as well. He's gaining ever so slightly. So we'll have to keep our eyes on to see what happens a little bit later on. It is obviously very hard to say what will happen in just a moment, as the track allows for, you know, some fair pace change-ups compared to a track like basically any other, really. Because that basically means that you know, all the drivers have their own times where they're a little bit, well, it's like everybody has this part of the track where they're really comfortable with, but even then it's just such a tricky track. So driving on the absolute limit is just hard in itself, I think. And well, I guess time will tell to see what happens here. Sosla has gained quite a bit of time, but now the McLaren seems to be getting away ever so slightly. Nordschleife is still trying to catch here. The McLaren seems to be rather quick, however, as they're making their way up to the GP part of the circuit. As driver number 46 just reset into the pits, but I am unsure to see what that actually was here. We have had a reset. At the moment, I can't tell. Oh, it's Scott Moody. Has he retired then? Has brought out the number 46, which I actually find quite ironic, really, as obviously that is the livery reminding me of the Marc Marquez livery from, well, I want to say back in the day. That's not entirely the case, but he's got driver number 46, which is actually the number that Valentino Rossi used. What's happening over there then? Massive touch between 3 of the drivers, but they all make it through at least. I don't know how that could have happened in that scenario, but it seems that they have all somehow made it through alive and making their way into the small carousel now. Got a couple drivers in the pits here. It is Trombi, Gorgetto, as well as Evans, as Fiascas had to let Bartolucci go. But no, what has happened there? I want to see that one in the replay if possible. That looked like a massive shunt to me, as it appears that the replay is completely broken, which just crashed my game entirely. Alright, well, this is awkward. Alright, well, finally we do have contact, but I believe it wasn't actually around here that it happened. There was a big delay. I've lost connection now as well, which is not ever too great. Yeah, that was pretty weird here. What has actually happened then? Was this the incident? Yes, the... Oh no, such a big shot for the both of them. Oh, look at how deformed the cars are. Now, the only upside is that they're actually back at where they were before, so therefore it's not actually too bad damage-wise, but even then... Manual slide. Still chasing here, as we've seen another driver just kind of come to a stop here. This time it was Matt Chip. He is getting the car going again, but has lost a bit of time there. Spun out, therefore has to kind of just stay there and reset and gain pace again. Luckily he was in the middle of nowhere. Tristan Sleutel getting close to Raquette now. Has closed that gap from roughly 2 seconds up to 0.8 here. Tristan on a really good position to try and gain some time and perhaps even go for an overtake a little bit later on. I have to keep an eye out there. All the drivers are kind of just driving in no man's land. Apart from these two here, it's the BMW of Leeson here, followed by Mark GG. Now Leeson was actually the car behind a little bit, but has overtaken the Greg's Porsche by now. And let's be honest here, who doesn't like a bit of Greg Sears? Chip has come in to serve his stop and go 30-second penalty here. Don't know how he's picked that up, but don't really get those big penalties for nothing, so something's definitely played up there. A bit tight here. Sleutel now very, very close by all of a sudden. There's actually a back marker getting in the way now as well. That is that's the Ferrari of Van der Waal, if I'm not mistaken. Now he's able to get out of the way. Doesn't seem to affect Tristan Sleutel as much as it actually affected Roquette here. So Tristan Sleutel is actually pretty happy that his countryman has held him up for a tiny bit. Looking to get any close. It's not going to happen at the moment. Terence Schiebel is close by. Osla fighting for the position though, as Snibble's going to make his way up the inside and he gets by. The Slail within 0.3, but this is a battle which is arguably more important, as it is Reynolds, Taylor, as well as Gregorelli all involved in this battle here. They're on a fast part of the circuit right now. Mickey Taylor had some damage in the beginning, but has made a quite nice recovery. Currently set in P20, having served his pit stop already. He's in a great position to do some damage and score some really, really good points as well. There is a big crash and Mickey Taylor's not able to avoid him fully, but he gets off it way better than Gregorelli at least, who finds himself now facing the wrong way, resetting into the pits as we go as well. That might be another casualty here claimed by the, well, I wanted to say very unforgiving, but that would be an understatement at this point here. A circuit that has already cost us 5 drivers in total by now. We've seen a couple disappear over time. Some in the foreground, some in the background. Tristan Sleutel. Still close to Raquette. Raquette is trying to drive his way as fast as he can, but obviously it is quite difficult. There he goes, then potentially a move here. They're side by side. Axel Raquette is seeing the Dutchman brake very late, and that is the move for Tristan Sleutel to get by. A must at some point in the race. And Ross Spencer is gone off and reset into the pits, I am afraid. Gregorelli's come in, so was Oslide. They were battling a little bit earlier on. It's now to Axel Rosquet to try and make that time up if possible. There's still a fair bit to play for. There's still plenty of time to make up some positions in the end, as we're seeing another incident there. This time is Mad Chip involved, has picked up damage as well. Let's hope it's not the suspension at least. The car looks quite alright apart from the aero damage there, so I think the damage has been pretty marginal and is lucky to get away with something like that at least. Oslice come out of the pits in the background here, and he's made his way back up again. Gregorelli and also William Glover just coming in. They're gonna have to stay just that little bit longer, so that allows for him to drive away a little bit more. Taron Schiebel then, he's looking for a move onto Alsti. They're currently, I think it's separate as they're making their way over to Swedenkreuz. Going in, braking as hard as possible to make it around the corner. They're very lucky that these cars have got very good ABS. Because otherwise this track would be borderline impossible. We've seen the Vil Yellow 46, or actually not the Vil Yellow 46. It's actually the Team Repsol 46, of course. But yeah, off again. But judging by how he's currently driving on that track again, and I think also by what I was able to see on the right side of the car, yes, that is some quite massive damage to the aero, and I think also slight suspension damage that he suffered all the way through. So it's going to be a long way back. Now, luckily, it's already 3/4 in, but even then, it is very fair to say that that's going to cost him quite a bit of time later on as well. There's 52 minutes to keep racing here. It appears that the Rookies and Masters are both underway for now. We've also got some supporters in the chat, by the way. I haven't pointed out just yet, but we've got Goldhorn in 2015 as Kieran Leeson finds himself into the wall again. Open Lobby Racing is out there supporting Björn, Matt and Tim as well. It's good to see all of you here. Now, obviously, I don't know all the first names on top of my head, so I kind of have to cheat a little bit here, but trying to get a feel for who's supporting who. It's always good to see these people getting out there on the track as well. It's always very much appreciated, you know, to see your people support your favorite drivers, of course. Now, that's all what motorsport's about, right? You need somebody to cheer for. And, of course, you could just be a fan of the spectacle in itself as well, as far as you know, care about the motorsport in itself. Now, for me, I don't really have favorite teams in anything apart from BTCC, GT3, Formula 1. I think that's about as far as it goes, really. But yeah, speaking about, you know, being a fan of the sport, it would suck to go to the Nürburgring 24 hours and see a race kind of just disappear right in front of you, right? There were 7 hours of racing in total, I believe, here, which is way less than we actually anticipated for. And that was mainly due to the fog on the GP track, meaning it was unsafe to try and get through there. There's a driver going the wrong way. I don't know who that was then. Yeah, I'm not sure I was able to catch who that was here, but that looked like one of the Porsches at least. Was one of the FRL Porsches, if I'm not mistaken. Kieran Leeson then, wanting to go side by side perhaps. Team McLaren is looking to go side by side into this, but he actually pushes Kieran Leeson off there. Now they are both able to make it through. It's a good recovery by Kieran here. Somehow able to keep the car on the track there, but let's force him back just a little bit more. And now he's eager to overtake him even more, and he'll have an opportunity. So on the Nürburgring GP part of the track here. That's another Porsche not doing too well. I think that might be the car of Chris Getman. Yesterday it was the car of Chris Getman, and he's got some kind of damage to his car already, and this is definitely not going to help him even further. Now, what is actually up with that car? This appears to be something with the suspension as well. It looks fairly mild, but he's able to dodge the majority of the cars here. Swapping back to Kieran Leeson for now. Haven't really seen much change over at the front. It's mainly in the midfield and towards the back where the biggest fights are happening. Taron Shiba then. Looking to get by Cisco here. Now that name's gives me nightmare. For the people that have done their CCNA might know what I'm talking about as well here. You're getting roughly through halfway of the race here. Yoda currently is follows. It is Poloin leading, followed by Wieser, Reis, Marche, Sleutel, Roquette, Craig Hill, Edward, Cisco, and then Schiebel in P10 as well. Driver 69 having a small issue. I believe that was Alex Nito. Indeed, that is the case. And he's currently standing still, facing the wrong way. Now, I hope the damage isn't as bad for him as it is for the Porsche of Getman that we just saw crawling by in the background there. Gregorelli had a little bit of a moment as well, coming out of the carousel. When you get a little bit too eager on the throttle there, that's when that happens here. Edwards and Hill, Cisco, and Alsteer have all come in to serve their mandatory pit stop as well. Oof, there goes the 296. There's actually two cars, and yeah, Mickey Taylor's just not able to avoid him. No matter where he goes, there's a car in the way. Alex Nito makes his way past Chris Getman again there. You can see he's a little bit more happy to get out there on the throttle. Chip coming in as well to serve his mandatory pit stop here. There's quite a couple of drivers serving their mandatory pit stop as the games have kind of come to, well, I don't want to say a halt here, but they have kind of just become a little bit less intense with all the drivers pushing through now as we speak. Some Imperials left quite a lot of space there. Nicely done by the Ferrari to not get in the way there. Cisco's close by as well. But yeah, you kind of see that the field just kind of falls apart from a couple drivers here. For example, Paulo Cisco, but he is actually lapping Tom Brunel here, so he's not going to get involved into anything. Or actually, am I saying that correctly? No, I'm not saying that correctly. That was for position here. But Tom Brunel is yet to serve his pit stop, and that's obviously going to be quite a big factor into this as well. They'll take the position. Cisco's already served it, so it still makes sense for Tom Brunel to get out of the way and not get into the way, because that is about the worst thing that you could have done here. Jack Evans close to Mickey Taylor then. Obviously, they were involved in an incident a little bit later where, a little bit earlier, where Mickey Taylor obviously couldn't avoid the Ferrari. And now they both go off again, and it's not going to do many favors. Jack Evans actually getting spun around, and he gets out of the way, hurts the back of his car in the process here. It's going to cost him quite a bit of time on that straight, and not only that, it's also gonna be damaged and he's gonna have to choose to repair or stay out, as he has served his mandatory pit stop here. There's only a couple drivers still needing to serve them. Sampieri, Brunel at the midfield, and then you've got Barracuda and then the current top 7 that we have as well. For example, Schiebel being one of the drivers here. Taron Schiebel's had a good race so far. So I also wanted to point out Bjorn Weiss is getting closer and closer now to the race leader. Lloyd Poloin still doing his best. Sampieri still chasing. And the driver that he is currently chasing is James Aldsley. But Aldsley has already served his mandatory pit stop and is happy to just get away whenever possible. Axel Roquette is close still to Tristan Sleutel. These two have been battling since the beginning of times, it feels like. These two cannot get separated just yet. Tristan Sleutel's putting up a good fight and hasn't really had to do too much active defending, at least not for now. Tristan just desperately trying to get away. The moment's not happening though. Lorenzo Gorgetto is still seeing the Ferrari just in the mirror somewhere around. "40 minutes remain as we've currently got 34 drivers." So we've seen another 2 disconnects come in. Half a second still between those two at least. Nothing's really changed between the two for now. Jamie Edwards also now suddenly involved in a battle that he really wasn't expecting. It is Zampieri who's come close by. How did top fours come in? All of them. So it's Boulogne, Weiser, Race, and Marche all getting in to go for the mandatory pit stop here. And that could shake up the results of the race now. Everybody's kind of driving together now again. Although obviously some drivers are going to have to come in just later. And, well, Chris Getman sparked the car. Is that it? Is that Chris Getman giving up, or is he going to be continuing again? It appears he's still going, just ever so slightly, but he's struggling to get the car around. It's a sad side, isn't it? As the drivers behind him are just slowly catching up and going by. Getman down to the second to last position, and to make things even worse, it's Gino Gregorelli getting close by. Now, it's going to take a while before he catches, as he's also come to a standstill. And he's reset the car. Chris Getman's still going. We do see another DNF here, or perhaps just a reset, as he already is all the way back there. No, he is still in that pit at least. He's not immediately going back to driving. So, it is hard to say for now. Bjorn Weiser's still chasing now. He's actually rather close by again, as it's Tristan Sleutel to temporarily take the lead now in the race. Since he had to service pit stop. Bjorn Weiser has been passed. Well, actually hasn't been passed. No, he's still chasing Boulogne, but they are now quite close to each other again, which wasn't the case a little bit earlier. Bjorn's still chasing. He's still hoping for a slip up, but it's not going to happen, is it? At the moment, it really doesn't look like it. Sleutel's just enjoying that time. It's still possible, but Boulogne just hoping that he has the capabilities of not making a mistake this long on. Keep in mind, this is a rookie race as well, so it surprises me that all the drivers here have made these little mistakes, to be honest. I mean, sure, you see a couple of drivers off from time to time. For example, the driver that was just passed away, he's got some damage to the car. That's not going to help him, obviously. But you get what I mean, right? It is just, I can't imagine doing this in any race sim. To me, this is just such a impressive performance in general. Tom Bernal still driving away from Jamie Edwards. Now, I must say, considering Tom Bernal mains rFactor 2, obviously he's the big rFactor 2 guy behind the scenes, this is still a massive performance that we're seeing from him. I am rather impressed by how he's doing, as I say that, yeah, commentator's curse, right? He's made a mistake and he's up to the wall. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? Alright, Tom, if you watch this back, just know that has never happened. I've never said anything about you. I take everything back that I've ever said. And I was not responsible for that to happen at all. I don't know how this happened. It's... Oh, man, I've got no words for it even. How and why does this always happen? I know somebody's watching and he's seeing that, yeah. But yeah, 33 minutes remain here. And just to come back to chat as well, I tend to just not look at chat. It's totally my bad, by the way. But yeah, as Winnie said, yeah, Formula 1 is big in viewing numbers because it's an over-ring sport. Well, I think with the new regulations that have been announced, I think it could be a hit or miss, and I'm not sure at the moment. Bartolucci going up in the background. Small mistake. As we also see Barracuda make a mistake. That's his first. After this much time, he's finally made a mistake. It's actually happened now. Now this is getting tight. As all the drivers are getting around his back now. It's just a matter of how side by side you're willing to go through here. At the moment, it looks like he can just settle between the two drivers at least. But now immediately he's back into racing action, whereas he wasn't before. But yeah, the 2026 for was it 25 or 6? I don't remember. Racing regulations are pretty interesting to me. You've got a lot more changing that you seem to do to the car, and they were supposed to get smaller as well, which I think is great for races like Monaco, for example. I can imagine that if tracks like Monaco were supposed to stay on the calendar, you kind of need that right, because it's not like there's no way to overtake on Monaco. It's just not possible in the Formula 1 cars. For example, I watched a little bit of the Monaco E-Prix. I'm not a big Formula E guy, but if you are, definitely well worth to see that race. It's actually a race that's come with many overtakes as opposed to what we saw in Formula 1, where I counted like 4 or 5 on track that were actually caught by the camera. It's just so difficult to get right. But that is just how it is, I suppose. I'm not a big street circuit guy, nevertheless. Here, there's only a few that I actually enjoy. Eason's in the pit, so is Mark G. Jeter. Pinning here to serve the mandatory pit stops. It's Tom Bernal to still come in, as well as Tristan Sleutel. And I think we're basically there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it appears we are. Yeah. Seems like Mark GG, as well as the companion in the pit with him, that being Kieran Leeson, are serving an extra pit stop that they don't need to serve right now. I mean, they have chosen to do so, and it's up to them, of course, to see what they want to do tactically, but it's not a requirement by any means. Renzo Gorgetto is close by. It's not going to make the gap just yet. James Aldersley is close by. So is the Porsche of Barracuda. And also Jamie Edwards involved in that too. Now this battle has been kind of killed off earlier, but because Barracuda's made a mistake, they now find themselves all back with it. There's a move potentially. Yes, there it is. Nicely done by Barracuda to make his way past now. Just before they were headed onto the GP circuit. So I actually couldn't wait for him to make that move. He just decided to go for it just now. A great move and an important one at that as well. It's Jim and Wilson to also find Tom Bernil. Now, Tom Bernil actually isn't a direct threat right now for Jim and Wilson, unless he picks up such severe damage and he has to pit. Tom Bernil has got 30 minutes to serve his mandatory pit stop. Same can be said about the current leader, Justin Sleutel. The only upside is that he's now able to kind of create a gap if he wants to. But once again, it is the Nürburgring endurance layout that hasn't disappointed at all. I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like this track, no matter what series we're watching it on, it's just always a absolute hit to me here. Bernil coming by. So is the McLaren behind him for now. And obviously, as I've mentioned before, they're not actually battling. But these two are. Aldsley and Edwards and Barracuda still. Barracuda has kind of gone up there. There's Aldsley. Yeah, he's still got that gap for now. But for how much longer can he handle it? He's so much more aggressive through that chicane as the other driver actually there was. So these are perhaps a little bit more comfortable than the other drivers now. Now that there's 30 minutes remaining of the race, I think it's safe to say that all these drivers at this point will be feeling some sort of fatigue, right? The form that I was feeling after doing a 20-minute race on low fuel motorsport, it's just, I don't know how they're doing it. For me, it feels impossible. But yeah, they're really good at what they do. Man, as I say that, it's a big slide here from Jade Chaudhry, but actually, there was no way to overtake for the Ferrari of Jamie Edwards then. So at the moment, he stays ahead, and although that gap is kind of just closed down, they're still driving together. There's just no way around them. If you just park the car sideways, maybe that's a valid tactic here around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Lovers come in to serve another pit stop, most likely to manage his repairs here. As the lead drivers have all done 7 laps by now. Couple drivers still on 4 as well, so there's a big difference here. For example, Gregorelli, who is still out there on the track in last position, is still doing his own thing here. And he's actually still driving, unlike a few others. I mean, there's 44 drivers remaining here. We started with, I believe, 41, which actually for a rookies race, I think that's a pretty good number here, as it appears we have a driver going slowly. That was once again Chris Getman. Don't tell me he's got damage again. And actually, I'm not able to spectate him. Yeah, now I am. As I switch the TV cam, it will just put him back on somebody else. That's weird. He is driving out there. Yeah, and then changed back to... Alright, so when I change camera, it switches back to somebody else for some reason. Alright, well... So of course, the Competizione is full of surprises, isn't it? Definitely a interesting game to always commentate on there. Definitely my favorite out of them all right now. Tristan Sleutel still leading the race. He's yet to come in though, and the gap between him and Poulan has kind of just remained the same for a very long time. It's been on 30 seconds since I can remember here. So it's not going to be good enough for him to stay in P1 after serving that mandatory pit stop. Which is also got a decision to make. Am I going to pit for tires or not? It is not a requirement to pit for tires, although I do believe there is a set pit time set for this race here. gap still roughly remained the same. Jim and Noelson still chasing Osla here. Osla is not really letting down on the pace here. I mean, all the drivers are real good at the moment here. There's no real drivers that are driving significantly faster or slower than they were before. Everybody's just consistent at their pace, which is really impressive to me. I could never imagine here, as once again the yellow flags are out, but it's only temporarily. It's been fixed already. Mark GG as well as Kieran Leeson are back into the pits once again. There's a couple drivers still battling for position. So it's Barracuda versus Altstein Edwards. And then we've also got Tom Bernil and Jim and Wilson. Although that one is not that important, as it will be Tom Bernil to come in eventually. I think he might do this lap here. Once again, it appears that the camera gets stuck on James Altsley whenever I try to swap around the camera. Look, that's just what it does. I don't know why. It's a little bit weird. I've got no idea why that would happen specifically, but well, there's not much that I can do about it. Yeah, look, it just immediately warps back onto James Altsley, and I don't know why. Once again, car number 79 is driving slowly. That's once again Chris Getman, and he's once again picked up damage. Oh, well, yeah, it's going to get weird for me to get used to that here. To keep the car going, but that looks pretty big to me. Once again, suffered a massive crash. Finds himself driving slowly. He's actually not able to make it onto the track. Yeah, just look at how bad that car is in shape right now. It's hard for him to even get around to the pit lane once again. Frustrating, isn't it? These three are still battling all the way. Here's the Tom Bernil's actually stayed out as well. Oh, actually, there he is. He's in. Just a little bit late on the update for me. Tom Bernil finally serving his last pit stop here. And therefore is now finished that one up as well. 18 minutes remain then. Field has kind of started to take place. As soon as Tom Sleutel is finishing, we'll have a look at how the field has formed. Jim and Wilson still chasing Barracuda, but Barracuda is not giving up, and actually appears to now also the BMW is getting involved in this. So this could really end a little bit weirdly later on as well. So we're gonna keep an eye out on what's gonna happen here. There's so many drivers that still could go all the way. So I wonder what the call in the end will be. The gap still hasn't really changed, but there's some of them just all up to roughly the same pace by now. There's just something about them that doesn't really pull them apart here. They're all just doing their own thing, and they're all doing really, really well at it. Jim Wilson still chasing Oslo as well. This is another battle that we have for position going on. Together with the battle between Edwards and Austier. Those are really the two we're watching as we speak. There's not really much else going on here. Mr. Sleutel currently set in 5th after having served this pit stop. Though according to the game, on my screen he's still in 1st position as well, so it's a little bit weird. I don't know how that's happened, but I think it's safe to say that P5 seems like a realistic spot, and therefore I think that's what he belongs to. We've got a couple here back, but Mark GG and Leeson has just been standing in the pit for such a long time now. As I'm trying to see if I can perhaps get this back to work. Yeah, no, it's broken completely. Yeah, right. So my program's definitely having some issues here. Yeah, it's now stuck and disconnected as well. So the only thing that I can do now is actually restart the program. So that's why that happened in the first place, I think. So I'm quickly going to restart. This is a thing that I've only seen on all the races here, and actually it appears that I'm not even able to get back in here, so this is now tough. Alright, there's only one thing that I can do at this point if I want to get that thing back up, and that's just rejoining the server as we speak here. It's a little bit unfortunate, but it appears that I have lost connection completely to the server, which means that I'm not able to swap POVs again, unable to do anything. Can't notice the gaps, can't notice who's in what position because it doesn't live update anymore, so I'm gonna have to do this. And this obviously takes a long time as well, so I hope that we're not missing too much of the action here. Let's pray that the order is still the exact same thing. Gonna do this, drive, that seems good. Alright, I am connected again, that's great. Now I hope that the issues are solved here. Time will tell, I suppose. See the flags are out, as it was Mike Allard here driving slowly, but he's now come into the pits, so that error is gone immediately. He seems to just wait it out there for now. Altstein now on a second behind Edwards. Kind of just still the same. Kind of race in P3. I mean, it's kind of gone unnoticed by basically everybody. But there's really not much that he's, you know, had to fight for. He's just kind of been doing his own thing, and he's done so really good. He has been very hard to overtake, and well, he's got a gap that he's just been working towards the entire time, and that's basically brought him to where he is right now. Jimmy Wilson still P12. Osla is just doing a good job defending so far, and there's really not much opportunity to overtake, so it's hard to kind of get by on this part of the circuit here. But time's running out here as well. These drivers will get in 2 more laps basically. Kind of race. I mean, he's actually made up quite a bit of time here to pull on. I don't know how Weiss just got past him in the first place. He somehow has just created that gap, and I think it might be because Elo Polonia was kind of stuck there in the pit lane just a little bit longer Now all of a sudden, we might have a battle here for the front positions here. I don't know how this happened, but it is Poloin and Race to kind of just somehow fall back together, which means we could get a very exciting end here to this 1.5 hour race here. This is a big mistake made by Poloin. He only just about keeps the car on the track here. The BMW has been led by. Yep, that was bound to happen, wasn't it? That hurts quite a lot as well. Obviously, you can't win them all, right? You can't win them all, but it's extra frustrating here for Poloin as well, as he's fought so hard for it and now finds himself all the way back here. Despite having done so well.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
Final lap has been called up here as well. So we now know that Weiser's very close by to winning it all. Giuseppe Zampieri. He is also still doing his own thing out there. Once again, there's a flashing light for Chris Getman. Once again found himself having a little incident there, as it looks like Elo Poloin is just slowly but surely losing grip of Race here. Kind of Race is just somehow making his way out there, just has more pace at the moment, it appears. And that was a must. I think this is such a good result here for Kenneth Race as well. Just being able to, you know, crawl your way back up there. Sure, Bjorn Weiser will be the absolute winner of today, unless something happens here towards the end. Which could very well be the case, but generally speaking shouldn't be. And now all of a sudden we have a race going on here over in the midfield as well. It's Reynolds versus Gorgetto. They've kind of just been unnoticed the entire stream, but now this is pretty massive, for the both drivers are able to fight for position until the very last lap here. A little bit further up ahead, there's been an incident to the 182 car of Jack Evans. Jack Evans got off, is able to recover, and it looks like he didn't pick up that much damage. At least, so it's not bad at all. Giuseppe Zampieri then. Maybe a little bit later to be able to get a move on the Nordschleife itself. It's kind of hard to get around, but the car ahead of him does have some damage on the aero department at least, and he's able to go for an overtake here with ease. It looks like William Clover had no business in that at all, and somehow Elo Poloin has made his way past. It always happens when you look away for just a second, doesn't it? Elo Poloin getting close by. And now, just maybe that P2 will stick in the end. Bjorn Weiser once again coming in, representing Open Lobby Racing. They've got quite a couple drivers out there that are getting some massive results in. I can only say it's well deserved, to be honest. This man has given it his all. 31 drivers finishing the race most likely. I think we can say that it has been a rather clean race for a rookies race in general. And I think it is also safe to say that the drivers have put up an absolute show, which I'm very thankful for us. We are now approaching the final couple corners for a couple of the drivers already, depending on where they're located, of course, on the track. Obviously, everybody that does finish the lap here ahead of Bjorn Weiser will be allowed to go another one here. So Bjorn Weiser is kind of the give or take call here. Tells you when the race is finished or not, which means it's good to take some safe laps in, but some safe laps mean a lot of extra fuel as well on a track like this, where there's only one place to refuel in, of course. One more time. The carousel coming in. As time is now officially run out, basically 10 seconds remaining till the final sign will come in here, which means you are this close to ending the race here. There we go. The time is officially over. And that means it's just a matter of time to see when everybody comes in. Small mistake there made by William Glover, seeing him falling back a little bit more. He kind of races, still trying his best to get around. A slight mistake there by Kenneth Race, but was able to keep the car straight. But yeah, this close to ending the race here. There's no other driver that's really getting into any battles at the moment here. They're all just kind of doing their own thing. I mean, Kenneth Race still close by. And Mercedes is nowhere close by, and well, Tristan Sleutels just happened to be where he is. I mean, he was leading the race at some point when everybody else has come in. Now, it hasn't paid off for him in terms of, you know, remaining that lead, but I think he's still done a massive job. He's taken out some good points here in the season finale as well. So, yeah, not too long until this stream will be over, and then we are officially towards the end of the season here, which means that I have done my first 3 races here. First 2 I did in the semi-pro split, where I was on circuit on the Americas and then Laguna Seca afterwards. Now I am finding myself here on the Nordschleife for the final race of the season. And I must say, I've enjoyed every single second of it here. So let's take the time to watch Bjorn Weiser come through this final couple corners. Just one last time here. It's one right-hander. Now 1 corner remaining. It is the left-hander he's coming into and has made it through nicely. Or kind of shifts off a little bit, but that doesn't matter. Bjorn Weiser takes a victory here in the final race of the season. You can only say he's done a massive job. There's no debate here. Poloin versus Kenneth Race. Kenneth Race is gaining so much here over on that straight, but getting by will prove tricky to go side by side at the touch here. Kenneth Race takes some damage onto his car, and then they're side by side. They've been pushed wide, and that's a massive shunt there. He gave it all. It's not going to happen. It's going to be Eloy Poloin to find himself in P2. But now the frustrating thing here is that so many drivers waiting to come ahead of him as well. And there's another incident here. Tristan Sleutel takes damage. It's actually Shade to get around a little bit more. Tristan Sleutel to finish P4 then. That's a gift. Kenneth Race sees it all crumble right in front of him here. To make it even worse, Axel Roquette's also coming in now, and he's going to be making his way around. So from a potential P2 in the final couple corners, Kenneth Race is going to finish the race here at a snail's pace in P6. He's finished. Results in. Darren Schiebel's up next. We see already some drivers towards the back have finished out as well, just like Craig Hill. And now these two coming in as well. Darren Schiebel to finish P7. A good result considering he didn't put in a qualifying lap at all. I think it's a very honorable effort what he's put in. And I think he'll be happy with that. The results are great for somebody who didn't qualify, to be honest. Paulo Cisco to take the finish here as well. P8 it is for him. As now Jamie Edwards will be the next one to arrive here. There he goes, across the line. A little bit slower, but does that even matter? I don't think so. There we go. P9 coming in. Altsley, P10 it is in the end. There's Oslike coming in as well. And actually, that is the race ending. Alright, that is a little bit awkward. Yeah, no, it just says the session's over, but that's clearly not the case. Some drivers are still going to finish off here. Oslike in P11, as now it is Manuelsen coming in right afterwards. He's now come in. There's Barracuda then also is going to be trying to cross the line here. I don't know what's exactly happened and why the session's been ended early. There's probably an explanation for this, but I just don't know it. But anyways, it will be Barracuda and Manuelsen to finish together now as well. It's Manuelsen in P12, Barracuda in P13. As now everybody's been reset as well. So ladies and gentlemen, that brings me towards the end. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I most definitely have. My name is Ricky from RDC Broadcasting. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch at RickyDC. Well, actually, Ricky CS, isn't it? No, it's RickyDC with an I as a 1. Or check out my website, rdcbroadcasting.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope to see you guys later. I'll be back eventually. I don't know what the plans are regarding FRL, but I guess time will tell. As for now, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Thank you all for tuning in. It's very much appreciated. And I'll see you guys next time.
Middle
calling to say I say I'm just calling to say I